Mason. You're in the basement with JaVonne and Terez.
Perfect.
Leon, that's right, Leon, for some of your favorite movies, and I'm at brunch in the basement with Terez and JaVonne. Stay here with me. Stay here with me. Stay here with me.
Still in the basement, no longer alone, with my homegirl Terez on the microphone. Music, politics, or just chatting it up. Brunch in the basement, see that's what's up. You never know who might run through. Legendary artists or someone brand new. You miss a lot when you miss one day. At least that's what I heard somebody say. But it doesn't really matter what whoever says. It's always a good show with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Brunch in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Let's see who we got today. Come on, everybody's a friend in my head. I already know everybody. Whatever it is, it's gonna be good. One day I'll tell you about me and Shaka Khan, but you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but she doesn't know anything about it. But anyway. No, she doesn't. She wasn't even there actually. But anyway.
All our bosses though, Jay. Like she's got our ears and
I'm gonna send y'all some. I'll definitely get an address. I'll send y'all out.
You can send me some cologne, because I mean, you know, yeah. Just in case I should meet Shaka Khan, I want to smell really, you know, nice.
Oh God.
Okie dokie, babe. Whatever you say.
The time, so
and we thank you for that.
Thank you. Well, thank you. This part, that little piece, I'm just gonna keep and play it all the time for myself. But no, I'm just teasing.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody is feeling not as frazzled as I am. The election is coming up. We have 3 days. Thank you, Pops. Good morning, Pops. Good morning to Callie. Good morning to everybody within the sound of my voice. If you are watching us on Facebook, whether it be Facebook Live on my personal page, or if it is on the In the Basement with JaVonne and Terez page, please do move over to YouTube, WJBR Internet Radio, and that in that way, because Facebook will kick me off or kick us off from time to time. So good morning, Gail Smith. Gail and Callie, I noticed that you are watching on Facebook. And Miss Smith, Miss Charlene, how you doing, darling? Good morning. So if you're watching on Facebook, please move over to YouTube. It's less likely that Facebook that YouTube will kick us off. Facebook, you know, they get funny and they will kick us off, and you know, whatever. I'm sure they have their reasons, and it's their platform. They can do what they want. Until Terez comes on the show, I'm just gonna play some music, and as soon as she comes on, then we will start chatting about what's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? Today's special guest, in case you were wondering, if you didn't already know, is the wonderfully, marvelously talented, beautiful, smart Rain Pryor. Yes, she is the daughter of Mr. Richard Pryor. And she's just a good human being, good people. Also, if you didn't realize, yesterday was our very own Auntie Melba Moore's birthday. She turned 75, and homegirl is looking good. Yep. She's looking good. She's feeling good. She's singing good. I mean, she's still hitting those crazy mega notes. And I'm going to play some stuff that maybe you don't even know by her. And then I'm going to ask that, excuse me, I know I'm getting close. I don't mean to get too close. Hold on. I'm going to ask that as a birthday gift, my rap was on point. Oh, thank you so much. I try. I'm not as talented as most of the guests that we have, but I try. So as a special, what I think would be great, to honor Miss Melba Moore for her birthday is if we all went out and purchase her CD, or her new joint, her latest song, which that's not a favor to her, it's a favor to you. The song is slamming, called "Just Doing Me." That Melba Moore joint will have you dancing. But before I play that, I want to play a couple of other songs from that CD, from this CD. The CD is called "The Day I Turned to You." Right? And I don't even think this song that I'm getting ready to play it's not even on here. But find this song. This song is dope. What can I do to survive? I'm talking about it. Just play the damn song, Jay.
What we had is just a memory. Yeah, so inseparable we used to be. Rain just falling down on my parade. You gave up on me. Why were you afraid? There were many nights I lay down and cried. How could I go on without you by my side? I never knew we'd be so quiet. Does it really matter when your heart's not there? I know we had our share of ups and downs. So naive thinking you'd stay around. I gave up every little part of me. You took for granted what our love could be. Many nights I lay down. Oh, what can I do? I never knew. Does it really matter when your heart's not there? I can't believe what I'm going through. I know I can find somebody better for me. I know I can survive. If you know, like I know, we're better off on our own. It's over, so goodbye. To not take no more time. One thing I need, so please won't you just let me be? He's gone, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone. Many nights I cry. What can I do? What should I do? I can't go on. How did it get so bad? Does it really matter when your heart's not there? Heart's not there. Very nice I cry. How can I go on without you by my side? I'm getting high from you. I never do. Does it really matter when your heart's not there? Oh,
Good morning, Rezzy Pooh.
Good morning. Good morning. That joint by Melba Moore is sweet.
You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling like, I want to do a little Melba Moore to kick us off this morning. That song, What Can I Do to Survive? For some reason, when I try to talk to her, now, when I try to talk to her and Ron about this song, I don't get as much feedback as I like, because this one right now is my favorite recent Melba Moore song.
That's sweet.
That song, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that takes me back into that classic R&B vibe with the, the sprinkle magic. Yeah, I like that.
I'm saying, oh my God, that's my joint. Callie West, how you doing this morning? Hey, Pops, got to give Pops shout out. Did you see what Pops did with the flyer, and then he does the little sparkle stuff that he does to it?
It's magical.
He is magical, but what he did today with the Rain Pryor flyer, he put the SWV Rain on me. And I was like, oh, and he was like, but I was like, yeah, and he was like, I was like, nah. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, what? Bird, that was dope. Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Charlene. Welcome back.
Gail. Please swing over, darling, and watch us on YouTube, because we don't want you to miss a thing.
Absolutely.
And you too, Callie West. Y'all are still over on Facebook. Swing your beautiful selves on over to YouTube. WJBR Internet Radio, and that way you catch everything, and you're not subjected to YouTube Facebook's
laws.
All right.
Laws. You can say LAWS, or you can say LOSS.
Both.
You know yeah, Charlene was digging the rap, and let me just say, Terez, I am inspired, and quite frankly, my heart is warmed. At the end of the show, people can't see this, but at the end of the show, I play like an outro. People can see the outro and everything, but what people can't see is you in the green room, and you now know the lyrics to our jingle.
Wait a minute. I've been knew them. Just sometimes I sing, so that's a thing here. I keep forgetting to remind you that I am hip hop. So after a while, it's not going to take, I think I got that on the maybe third time I heard it.
Word?
Now, you just caught me singing it.
Right. But it's not just that you know it. I mean, I'm sure you've heard, we're just that way when it comes to rhythm, especially people of color. I can't just say Black Americans or Black, whatever, just people of color. We are rhythmic, and before we learn our ABCs, we know the lyrics to every song that's played in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right.
That's just what we do. House and ever. Right? When I saw you sing, and the way, it's not so much that you were saying that you were, singing it. It's how you were doing it. This happened actually a couple of weeks ago, and I meant to say something after that, but it just never really came up again. But you was like vibing to it, and you was like, still in the basement, no longer alone, with my homegirl Terez on the microphone.
No, listen, you have. I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but I thought of it first, and my wife actually said it out loud. You have a cadence like MC Light in your tone. So it's hard, it's familiar. Your tone is familiar. So immediately it connects. But then, like the rest is just like a bop,
the vibe. It's the vibe, man.
The vibe. It's the vibe.
Silky. It's the silk. No. Yo, shout outs to Background Betty. I was thinking about her this morning too. I was like, that's dope. All right, so this is really what I thought.
What you thought?
This is we just gonna put it out there. You were asking me it must have been Wednesday night when Dawn Robinson, the beautiful Dawn Robinson, woo, when you were asking me when was the first time, and no, that I'm sorry, just to go back, that's not the first time that I've heard that I sound like or resemble in some way vocally. No one ever said Cadence. That's interesting. MC Light, but I have been compared to MC Light with my rapping for some reason, which to me is the biggest honor ever. I mean, that is what she's one of my favorite rappers. Like her, the way she does it. Maybe in some way I'm mimicking her and didn't even realize it.
It's the tone.
Yeah. But that's dope. That's dope. It's not intentional. But you asked me where was I the first time I heard, "Ooh, my first mistake was," and you started singing it, and I could hear Mo in the background saying, "Hold on," and you made it look like, and then you commenced to eating whatever you were eating so that the face was not,
all the time. That's our favorite pastime,
What's that?
One of the things, because we both really, really, really love music. So she breaks out into song, she changes up. She'll take an R&B song and give it an operatic twist.
Ooh.
We both kind of and this is just around the house. So we don't even hear each other anymore when it happens. It just happens. Or there'll be something playing, or she'll sing something downstairs and I'm finishing the lyrics upstairs. It depends on, so that happens all the time. But if I can't, I'm bad with titles. So
right.
I'll sing a few bars of it to tell you what I'm trying to convey, but she'll either, and she's not great with them either, but sometimes she just gets it. So she'll say, the title of the song is Hold On. And I'll go, or whatever, that happens.
So yeah, I witnessed that, but I just wanted to say that it's just dope that we have Pops in the comment and you got Mo in your ear, and I have a little Shaka Khan Devilette on my shoulder.
Devilette.
That whispers for me to do naughty things, but I just don't, to say and do naughty things, but I just don't. Hi, Pops. God bless you, baby. We love you. So actor Sean Connery,
my fave,
the iconic, may he rest in peace. So interesting. And if I want to hear Cheryl sing, all I have to do is just start singing the song and she'll just hop on it. She'll just take it over. If I want to hear her sing, whatever, I feel like gospel this morning. I'll be like, Amazing Grace, and she'll start singing.
That's here too.
Yeah.
Although I have to I'll start it off, or I'll keep humming the same bridge over and over and over again, and she'll pick it up and she'll say, "How did I start singing this?" And I'll go.
Right. So Cheryl and I were watching. We were watching something, and I was there's this movie called Family Business with Sean Connery, Dustin Hoffman, and oh my God, what's his name? The guy that married the girl from Sex and the City, Matthew Broderick. It's about generations of. It's sort of like that Last Shaft movie, but in the 80s. Anyway, we were just talking about Sean Connery, and then I said, "Oh, you ever saw this movie?" She was like, "No, we watched it." And she was like, "We don't never have to see it again." I said, "But you saw it." So yeah, but he's legendary and iconic.
Yeah, and my favorite Bond, my favorite James Bond, I grew up on Sean Connery. Later, took me some time to get used to Roger Moore. because Sean was just so smooth,
Yeah, yeah.
so sexy. You know, he was just in. You know, he was just really, really smooth and sexy. And Roger Moore, you know, it took a while, but then I, you know, leaned into him. And it would be great to lean into, because, you know, the Bond, James Bond.
Did you say that on purpose? Did you do that on purpose?
Didn't actually, but
Bond.
that's how it,
Bond.
you know, that character could use some sprucing up now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I'd love to see a nice dashing debonair man of color.
They were talking about Idris, right?
Mm-hmm. Who is English, you know.
That would be dope.
That would be bananas, I think, you know, to actually see, you know, what we know we can. We've always, you know, we've been leading men before, so it couldn't be about that anymore, could it? You know, but the James Bond franchise, you know, could stand some sprucing up, you know, and some really, like, there was nothing like Grace Jones when she jumped in that, you know, like that. When you started to use those characters, you know, and represent, it took a different spin. You got people that traditionally would not be watching James Bond to when she came in and played the villain with Dolph. Oh, please.
Yeah.
Scary shit. You know, like, so I think we need to do some sprucing up there. Calling all female villains, calling all, you know, we need some antagonists and calling all Black Bond, because we certainly have enough of beauty to go around. So who will you select?
Exactly. Who?
Or perhaps time to create our own spy series. You know?
This is true.
That would be dope. That would be super dope.
I agree.
Real, you know, get some of our faves in it, because you know it's gonna win.
Look, I can't tell you how much I loved the last Superfly. I mean, not Superfly. I enjoyed that, but I'm Shaft with Richard Roundtree, Samuel L. Jackson, and the young man when they played it in Generations. It was funny, but I enjoyed it. It was fun.
You know what it is? I didn't like
it. It is. Why didn't you like it? Tell me why, Rezzy. Who did?
I didn't like it because they made it kind of campy. I liked, you know, like if you're gonna spin a classic, Superfly, Shaft, you know, all of those classics, you know, they weren't campy. They weren't campy like that, you know, like I love seeing Richard Roundtree in anything.
Absolutely.
Period. He is solidified. Love Samuel L. Jackson. I just wish the script was better.
I get it.
That's all.
I think maybe the thing that I love the most about it was the nostalgia that sometimes and maybe this is a guilt thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I should feel it's a guilty pleasure, but sometimes I'm just pleased that someone thought to do it, that someone thought enough of Shaft to try to recreate it. Now, not everything, like you said, you know, not and also not everything needs to be recreated.
True.
And I don't. I want to. You know, sometimes and I apologize if I offend anyone. Sometimes I just come out and say stuff and I probably shouldn't, because you never know who's watching, and it's not my intention to hurt people or to in any way.
This is a disclaimer.
Yeah, it is. In any way, you know, defame the famous or you know, to say negative things about artists. You know, I'm all about the artists, which is why we do the show. You know, if you notice, we have a lot of artists come through. Duh, right? And it's because I appreciate what art does for my life, what music has done for my life, literature. Speaking of which, I wish I had thought to bring Rain's book over here so that we could show her book.
So
yeah.
what were you prefacing? What were you about to say?
I don't know. I was because I realized I don't want to say what I was going to say. No. Just, okay. Well, what I was going to do was I was just going to talk about another remake that I did not like of a legendary black film. I don't. I try not to say black exploitation anymore. I don't know. Couple of things JaVonne will not say. And the biggest one is I will not say that my ancestors were slaves, although I do know for a fact that my ancestors were enslaved.
Yes, they were.
But that's not who they were. That's what happened to them. Therefore, I do not refer to them as slaves. However, I will refer to them as being enslaved, as have been enslaved, have been enslaved. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference there, and it now when I hear people say, "Yeah, because I come from slaves," it cuts me a way that, you know what? Don't do that. That no, because any one of those people who were enslaved just as easily could have been a doctor, could have been a lawyer, could have been.
They probably were. How about they probably were in their communities? You know, they came from functioning communities, and you're right. You know that it enslaved speaks to their condition. Slaves, you know, would define who they were, and that is certainly not that because they did not start that way.
Right. So, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to start a movement across this country to change that language. I just don't know how I can reach that far. Maybe you and Pops and look at you like, damn,
you're actively reaching that far now.
Like you dragging me into some more shit, Jay.
But that's right, JaVonne. They were enslaved, not slaves. So that's it starts with here, and everybody here. If you have 10 people that tell 10 people that 10 people tell people, blah, 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 you know what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
The first Bond was From Russia with Love. Oh wait, hold on, 1962. I'm sorry, Dr. No. Yes, Dr. No. The first one. One of my favorite that I think I even went out and bought in the 80s was View to a Kill. That's what.
Oh, okay.
Remember that cover? I remember when I saw that poster for the movie, I was like, wow. This is before I met Grace in '85, and I just thought she was just a statuesque drop from God. Honestly, I was just like, whoa. And then later on, having met her, it's still pretty much the same, plus some other stuff, but we'll keep that off air. And then we got From Russia with Love in 1963. Goldfinger, remember that classic?
Absolutely.
With Shirley Bassey on the
Goldfinger. Oh my God! Wait! I'm glad you said that.
Thunderball, 65, and then You Only Live Twice in 67, and On Her Majesty's Secret Service, 69. His last Bond film were Diamonds Are Forever. Yes, and that's when I had to get my mind right because they introduced the character Sean Connery to the series. License to Kill, no Brandon. Hey baby, it's View to a Kill. View to a Kill was the James Bond film, and I think that may have been, I want to say 84 or 85. 85.
Who wants to know more about Grace?
Well, let's just say this. There it was. I'll just say this. My prime time was 85 through maybe the 2000. And there's a lot that went on in that time frame. And there were a lot of people, places, and things in that time frame. And, you know, there were a lot of tours, there were a lot of things and a lot of shenanigans and a lot of stuff. And, you know, Grace was a part of my history, let's just say. And, you know, and a good time. Shout out to Grace Jones. We're going to leave it right there. But shout out to the legendary Grace Jones.
Yeah.
Not too many people. She's never been duplicated. You know, she is one of a kind. You know, and in the day of Grace and Andy and Keith, and you know, it was a good time. You know, it was a really, really good time in New York. And if you lived through that era and survived it, you have quite a few stories to tell. Yeah, because it is not the same. There are no traces of that right now, you know, except for the stories and images that were captured then, and the stories, because we didn't have internet and all that stuff back then. So you had to live off memory, and a lot of people didn't survive it, and that's okay too, but their legacy lives on. And, you know, and folks that are here that have great memories to share, like myself, like JaVonne, I know she's got some, you know, of some of those legendary nightclubs and spots. We can keep it on, you know, the memory lives on in us, and we can have our little sidebar chuckles that we can relate to, because, you know, we were there in the corner of better days, you know, when such and such happened.
Right. You know, it's time flies, and you're fortunate you can fly with it.
Excuse me.
Speaking of Shaka Khan, well, you spoke about the. Hey, come on now, you did mention her without mentioning her.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So, in mentioning Shaka Khan, as you did, let's now let her, in her way, pay tribute to Mr. Sean Connery. Everybody hold on to your seats.
Uh-oh.
Hold on to something.
Goldfinger, he's a man, the man with the Midas touch, the spider's touch. He's such a cold finger, beckons you to enter his web of sin. But don't go in. Golden words he will pour in your ear, but his lies can't disguise what you feel. For a golden girl knows when he kissed her, 'twas the kiss of death from Mr. Goldfinger. Pretty girls, you will this heart of gold. This man is cold. Golden words he will pour in your ear, but his lies can't disguise what you feel. For golden girl knows when he kissed her, 'twas the kiss of death from Mr. Goldfinger. Pretty girls, you will this heart of gold. His heart is cold. He loves only gold. He loves only gold. He loves gold, yeah. He loves gold.
Yes. Now y'all know when it came down to it, whose version of Goldfinger she was gonna play first.
I know. They didn't know. So also, Brandon is letting us know that Mr. Rance Allen also passed away. Who's a legendary gospel singer, and I am not able to play most of his music right now because of Facebook. Facebook. And I would like for more people to log on before I allow myself to get kicked off. Speaking of Facebook, on my personal page is Minister Victoria, aka Yaya Love. Go to YouTube, Minister Victoria, if you can, and look up WJBR Internet Radio, and you should see this whole thing playing right now. Please watch through there and subscribe. And then every time that we're going to come on, you'll get a little bell or something will pop up in your email. Same thing for you, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon, what are you doing over there?
What are you doing on Facebook, man? You know better. You know better.
You're the original Mickey Mouse Club. You're from the original Mickey Mouse Club.
There you go. How you doing, Misty J? Good morning, darling. Good morning. And Queen Loretta, I pray you are feeling well today.
Yeah, she's out running errands and listening to us live on the radio.
I love it. Speaking of the radio, WJBR Internet.com, 24-hour radio station. If you need gospel on Sunday morning, you can just click on there and you will hear all of our favorite gospel music just on rotation. And then if you listen any other time, you will hear music. You will hear today's guest's father, Mr. Richard Pryor. You'll hear all kinds of stuff, just all like a box of musical entertainment chocolate. I think I even have some, I think might have put some Flip Wilson up there and some Mom's Mabley. I don't even know. You never know. You just don't know. So speaking of Rance Allen, and he had a very distinctive sound. I'm gonna play. I don't know if you recall when we would podcasting on Blog Talk Radio, we had a guest, Denitra Moore.
I do.
Well, this is right. She did the candles, right?
Yes.
As well as she was on that gospel show, Sunday Best. So she did a song with Rance Allen, and I believe that this is a song we can play. So let's do this. The name of the song is He Changed Me. Denitra Moore featuring Rance Allen, and this album is good too. Her CD is very good if you dig gospel, especially like modern day contemporary gospel. This is a good CD. So Denitra Moore, Danetra, and here we go. Okay, I gotta start that over because it ain't that fast. It ain't supposed to be that fast. Let's do it again. From the top, please. Where are my engineers?
I'm just a sinner saved by grace. Oh, he came in one day and he changed my name. Oh, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to live right. Yeah, if you want him to, he will change your life. I never knew I would be this way, but it's by His grace that I'm able to say, yeah, He changed me. I said He changed me. I don't go where I used to go. He changed me. Oh, He changed my name. I know someone that knows. Yes, He did. Alan, yeah.
All that sin come short of His glory.
Come short of His glory.
I'm a living testimony. He'll rewrite the story.
Rewrite the story.
Hey, yo, I've been changed. If any man be in Christ, he is no longer the same. Oh, I never knew it could be this way. But it's by His grace that I am able to say He changed me. I don't walk the way I used to walk.
He changed me.
Don't even talk the way I used to talk.
He changed me.
I got a new way of living.
He changed me.
Oh, yes, He did.
He did. Oh, I'm not what I used to be. I don't go where I used to go. I carry His love so everyone would know.
I'm a living example of what God can do.
What He can do.
If He did it for me, He can do it for you too.
He changed. He changed.
That's what the Lord did.
I know He did it. He changed me. Yes, He did.
Made a new man of me.
I never knew it could be done.
I never knew it could be done.
Oh, He changed me. He changed my walk.
He changed my walk.
He changed my walk.
That's what He did for me.
That's what He did for me. He changed my walk.
I got a brand new swag. I don't talk like I used to talk. Now I got a word for you.
Said He changed my life. I don't go where I used to go. I don't do what I used to do. He changed my life. He changed my life. He changed my life.
Ooh, yes.
When you're down and out and you need a friend, oh yeah. When you need someone in which you can depend, like a breeze over troubled waters, I will be there for you. Oh, yes. You never have to worry, because I'll always see you through. Just all you gotta do is call oh, you can just call me. I'll be your friend. I'll be your friend. Oh yeah. Call me. Call me. I know sometimes your burdens get heavy, and the load seems too hard to bear. I know you feel like giving up, I'll be your friend till the end. Ooh, call me. Seeking the Lord while it may be found. Call on Him while He is yet near. Jesus, it shall come to pass before the cold will answer. And while they are yet waiting, I will.
WJBR, internet radio for the inquisitive mind and the sophisticated ear. Let me just tell you something. That song right there, that's Melba Moore and Shirley Murdoch. Okay?
And let me tell you something. That is not a studio note either.
Mm-mm.
FYI, that is not a studio note. I watched her hold that live.
Yes. Miss Melba Moore will be just turned yesterday, 75 years old, Scorpio rock. And she is still hitting that very note, that very same mother friggin' note. Okay? And she's just amazing. Please. Now for me, I am hell bent on supporting those who support this show. Okay? That's my thing, as well as just, supporting, trying to give people their flowers when they're due. I mean, while they're alive, when they're due. But also, once you have shown support to the show, I'll be using some Melba Moore mugs and stuff, because she supports this show. There are people who could support the show that don't. I don't mention them.
Sips tea.
But I will support Melba Moore because you know what? Not only does she watch the show, she comments so we can see that she's watching the show. She comes on the show when we need her to, when we off, she has helped us to get other artists on the show, which is amazing because I don't know why, but it doesn't always work that way. I just love to show my appreciation in any way that I can. And that's it. And it's her birthday, and I want her to know that this show in the basement is for her. She's 75 years old, man.
Listen, years young, because she is fabulous, first of all.
Fantabulous.
Second of all, she takes care of herself. And she's a bowl of energy. And if you've ever seen her perform live, like, Melba was like an unofficial, which should have been like an official blueprint, for the way she transcended all of the genres, and still, you could pop on something in BET Special and see her pop out of that too, from Pearly Victorious to the dance floors. Like, she was always there. Melba, she managed to, from gospel, she was in the clubs with us, she was in the theater with us, she was in the movies with us. She's just been with us, like, she's ours. And, one of our icons, and still out here doing it. So, like, still out here turning out bodies of work, and then she smashed us again with another, just when you thought she was done with the club, she said, "Here, take that one."
Exactly. She was like, "Oh, you think that's good? Take this. Take that. We're like, oh, Auntie Melba, stop."
70-something years old. Take this club classic. Take that for you.
Here's a new classic. You know what? Let's do that. And then we will talk about today's special guest who's in the green room, but hopefully she'll dig this song too. Hopefully she'll dig it too. Oh my God. This is Miss Melba Moore's most recent smash ass jam. Okay. Sorry, Auntie Melba, I said a curse word. Okay. But I tend to do that sometimes.
On occasion.
I'm just doing me.
I'm still here and still doing me. What goes around will always come back again. So just take me as I am. I'm just doing me. You better do it. I'm just doing me. You can do it. I'm just doing me. You better do it. I'm just doing me. I'm just gonna do me. I had to take the time and learn to love myself, get to know me so much better. Every moment of my life has made me stronger. Many lessons, learn from them all. I'm just doing me. You better do it. I'm just doing me. You can do it. I'm just doing me. You better do it. I'm just doing me. I'm just gonna do me. What you see in me is always what you get. It's so easy, just be me. My life has been filled with many blessings from above. So much love, cherish it all. I'm just doing me. You better do it. I'm just doing me. You can do it. I'm just doing me. You better do it. I'm just doing me. I'm just gonna do me. I'm just doing me. I'm just doing me. I'm just doing me. I'm just doing me. You better do it. I'm just doing me. You can do it. I'm just doing me. You better do it. I'm just doing me. I'm just gonna do me. I'm just doing me. I'm just doing me. I'm just doing me. I'm just doing me. You know, the Lord has brought me from a mighty long way. I lost some things along the way, and it's been a long, rough road. But I never lost my voice. I never lost my health. I never lost my praise. And I am still doing me.
I'm just doing me.
Yes.
The magnificent Melba Moore.
Magnificent Melba Moore. And so, just doing me. Now, you know me with the segues, right? So let me just I have to say, you know, I've been chair dancing with Rain. And it is a wonderful experience, I have to say. I just have to say. But what's very interesting to me is that someone said to me after they saw the video, I mean not the video, the flyer that Rain was going to be on the show, they said, "Oh, I may watch. I've never heard of her before." And I'm like, "What fucking planet have you?" Okay. I should watch my language because I mean, I always think that everybody I'm familiar with, everybody should be familiar with.
Oh.
Okay, so who raise your hand if you never heard of Richard Pryor? No hands, right? Raise your hand. No, okay. You know what? Let's just do this instead of that because I'm too far to see all the hands. I can't see them. I really can't. So what I'll do is for those of you who do not know, who have, this is like, wow, let me watch this because wow, there's a Rain in the Pryor family. Duh. Okay, here we go.
My dad's Richard Pryor. My mother, Shelley, was a poor Jewish woman. Imagine, if you will, Beverly Hills, early 70s. Here I am, this mixed-raced child, my golden skin, my big poofy hair, because mom knew nothing about a press and comb. My mom's blonde hair, blue-eyed, looking like Cher, wearing dashikis. My parents were only married 4 years after the Loves were allowed to legally marry. So here I am, now born into this. I'm a product of this thing that everyone was against. And what was ironic, you know, is to then be in this house in Beverly Hills and having crosses burned on our front lawn in the middle of the night and the word nigger painted on the side of our home. Head of the class was one of those rare opportunities where I got called for an open audition. I went and it was like, do a monologue. I'm fresh out of high school. I wrote my monologue. And they're like, great, we love this. Can you write a teenage, kind of like a bad teenager and bring her in the next day? And I totally did. So I got hired as a guest star. And the first story, I'm like telling off the smart girls. And I remember the kids that were in the audience that day, because it was always live taping. And so the kids that were in the audience that day gave me a standing ovation. And 3 hours later, I got a phone call, you're a series regular. So here I am, you know, on this TV show that was a hit on ABC. I'm thrown into it, and now I'm on this trajectory of go, go, go. In many ways, TJ was a part of who I was. I think TJ got me in touch with a sense of my blackness I wasn't in touch with before, you know, because all of a sudden I had to own it.
Ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Rain? How you doing?
Me and me, hey.
Gotta get it off, you know, get it off.
Right.
Your chair dance, man, is the bomb.
You know, I get that from my dad. My dad, I think, was a great chair dancer.
Was he? See,
I remember he tried. We went somewhere. I don't know where were we? And he got up to dance, and I laughed so hard because I just assumed he could dance, and the man could not dance.
What? Get out.
He had he could play drums. He could he had rhythm, but he kept, you know, like the movie. What is it? Hitch.
Yes.
Will Smith. That's my dad kept it all right here.
Hilarious.
And he wore those boots with the heels on them because that was popular back in the day. I threw them in the trash. Oh, I was like, you cannot wear heels anymore, Daddy. I was like, nope.
Oh my God.
They were like Superman gold heels. It wasn't like regular black boot.
Superman gold heels. That's
gold ones, then like metallic red. I don't know. It was hilarious.
That is funny. That is funny.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh
you know, Rain, you have to start off by telling us what fountain of youth are you drinking from?
This is true.
I mean, because
hello.
But going from the TJ clips to now, it's like
she looks just the same, right?
You know what? You know what's so funny about you saying that? It has been the bane of my existence because my age is 51, right? But I don't look my age. So I don't even audition. Like I'll audition for my age and they'll go with someone who's younger than me who looks older sometimes. But I'm like, what? So yeah. So I literally put down for auditions that I can play like 35 to 51, you know, just because
basically.
It's very weird. And I think it's just genetics, you know, my mom, my grandparents, you know, yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Crack.
There you go. So I want to jump to this since we started talking about your dad, right? Let's take it down another generation.
Okay.
I just want to say that in as much as I started following you because I was a fan of yours, Head of the Class, One Woman Show, just Rain Pryor, my cousin, right? Okay. Not really, but in my mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Related. Yeah.
You're right. So then I saw you had a little girl, Lotus.
Yes.
Okay. She's adorable. And we've been friends on Facebook. I've been watching her grow through your pictures.
It's too fast. Go ahead.
This particular picture, I can't even wait. I want to share. It's like now I feel like we're sisters and she's my niece. This is just how. Look at this. Look.
Oh my God. I know, right?
Look at the little resemblance. Wow. She's making a face like, oh my God. Is that not the cutest?
Wow. She's adorable, first of all.
She has a lot, I would say, a lot of my daddy isms and didn't even know him.
Yeah.
Like things she'll say and do or looks she makes that literally take me aback sometimes where I'm like, You know, yeah.
Does she have a sense of who he was? Have you
Yes.
played the tapes? Does she
She's
know?
never. So has been allowed to watch The Wiz.
Okay.
She hasn't seen his stand up yet. She hasn't even seen my stand up.
Oh.
She did a report on him for school.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
interesting.
She knows.
Right.
Yeah.
She did a report on him, but she doesn't know the full.
She doesn't know the full extent. Like, I think now she's kind of at that age where, because all the kids use language and whatnot, that I think she could, and we could talk about it, you know, especially I think in this political era that we're kind of in. I do talk to her about what he stood for, and, you know, that, so she can have a reflection about who she is.
Right.
You know, part of who she is.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, and not only for her, but I would think for her generation to understand who your father was, and what he stood for. When you just said that, what he stood for, it's just a matter of how he articulated himself in such a way that everyone got it, and the reason was because of the brutal honesty.
Yes. I don't think he knew another way. I mean, he didn't know. He was never a good liar. I mean, that's the truth. He just was not a good liar. He just told you how it was, and you just had to deal with it, you know? And we have that, like, we call it, you know, like TMI. We share way too much. My brother, my sister, and all of us. Lotus too has it. So I just think it's just who we are, and that the other side of it is not comfortable. Like the truth, the not telling the truth isn't comfortable.
Say that again, actually.
You know?
even in casual conversation, Rain, I find that folks that tend to suppress truths, you know, in my opinion, you're far more susceptible to disease within, you know, than people that get rid of it, you know, share it, tell it, you know, truth tellers. Yeah.
I agree.
Last time we had you on the show, you were running for some sort of office, I remember.
Yeah, I ran for city council in my district, and I got 36% of the vote for the first time out, which is a good percentage to get. I unfortunately didn't win. I also did not in this election vote for him, the incumbent. I voted actually independent because I don't agree with the candidate. So I'm not gonna, you know, I mean, that's why I ran, right? But philosophically, I don't agree with him, and personally, I just don't agree with him, you know. But yes, I ran, and it's funny because there's a group of us that meet with talks of being part of a coalition to maybe that I would run again. Like they're hoping maybe I would want to run again. But I, after doing this, am not sure politics is my bag, because I don't know how to play those games. I really don't know how to play the game. And I really want change, and I really want to do something good for the community and my people. And there's a lot of, you know, a politician who I respected said, well, there's some things you just have to suck up. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to be that. I've gotten in trouble for blowing whistles. I've gotten in trouble for standing up for, you know, the underdog. So I don't know how to do that. So I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if I can do corruption and wear it well.
How about that? Yeah. Well, I think you just listed reasons to do it. You know, right. I think that's the direction. As much as it is to many people's chagrin, the game that's been played is we're finished with that. You know, that we are, 36% out the gate. That's very high. FYI, so 50% from someone who's never run before and doesn't have a history in politics.
Right.
So let that sit right there. So,
And clearly everybody doesn't know who you are.
Right. And they don't. And COVID hit. I mean, there was a lot of look, there was a lot of things that happened. I'll tell you this now, I had every reason to not run, because while I started to run in December, I was put in the hospital with heart disease. Didn't know I had it. It's hereditary in my family. I had a stent put in, and my doctor said, get out. She was like, because she goes, you have a heart attack, Baltimore's not going to care. That's basically how she put it. And I was like, oh. So like I had every reason, and stuff going on with my daughter and the effects of being bullied at school. All this stuff was all reasons to go, you know what? It's just not. And then COVID. It was like bam, 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 bam. And I couldn't campaign. And I'm not good. I mean, I'm honest. I'm not good at asking people for money so I can have a yard sign. Like the concept to me to ask you to give me money so I can put a yard sign or a flyer is disturbing to me. I'd rather you give me money so I can build something in the community. So there's a lot of things I have a hard time justifying in that process, because it's uncomfortable to say, I need to raise X amount of dollars, Oh, and then the best part is the incumbent, the people coming, in his group saying, well, you're a rich girl, your daddy, da 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 da, and according to the internet, like you have $5.5 million. And I was like, okay, where is it? Because I'm living in your neighborhood. So if I had 5.5, I'd be in the county. And he comes from a wealthy family in Baltimore who owned slaves, by the way. So, I'm just like, but that's politics, right?
Yeah, that's politics. I have a feeling that may be the one thing, and you'll never hear me say anything positive about this clown, but that may be the one thing that I think that his presence in the White House, not his agenda in the White House, but his presence in the White House was favorable about that. He was not a politician, because politicians traditionally, we know that they are either bought, got an agenda, or trying to move in a direction that may not include all the people. Right. But the fact that, the politician, we're over that. We just want to be talked straight to as Americans. We want people to live.
I think now we do. I think now we do. And, I think this election, I think Tuesday, look, I know for me, and I'm just honest about it, I voted Biden Harris. I would have considered third party had it not been this year, and who we needed to get out. To me, but I think overall, I think our whole process needs to change, and we need people who aren't career politicians. I think we need people who really care about their communities, and people. I know for a fact that if I were to serve on something, I'm not serving just for my party. I have to serve everybody. That includes even the people I don't like, because they're a part of the community. And I'm aware of that. There is a both and in politics. And I think people have lost that in this whole process right now. Like the division we have, the anger we have, the racism. Like I experienced that kind of stuff, as you heard on the Oprah thing, when I was a child. And I'll be damned if my PTSD, it's just like,
yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Ooh. I know I'm all over the place. Sorry.
No. That's where we tend to be.
You're perfect.
Yes. We have 3 days. Until D-Day, right?
Yes.
And and I'm praying that everybody has either voted early, and the ones who have not, who still love to pull the levers, They are in line to do that.
Right.
You know, and you know, because there's been a lot of, honestly, Rain, there's been a lot of, we're in the East Coast too, and there's a lot of fuckery going on right now.
Absolutely.
You know, even the
police suppression in Florida. Did you see all those ballots still in boxes?
Crazy.
At the post office? The post office?
Yes.
Like this MF is going to pay people who work in the post office to not count your ballot. Like that's how deep this is.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I thought like the whole Hillary whatever thing was messed up.
You can say it was fucked up. What it was.
Here we are now in this, and I'm like, this is deep.
Yeah, and even here in New York, we had police officers from the 70th precinct rolling around in their uniform and cars on the bullhorns talking about Trump 2020. Right. Now they know damn well this is the famous 70th, and yeah, I'm doing this I'm shouting them out for a reason, because they still got to do something about the corruption in NYPD. You know,
it's very interesting. I think there needs to be. So here's part of my platform, because I was married to an activist who became a police officer here in Baltimore.
Okay.
And who we've had many conversations about how he felt in terms of how he was trained, how in the training process, they are taught, even themselves are taught how to fight and target people of color. It is part of the training process. It's not even those words are used. It's in what they do from beginning to end that has people ready to target people of color, period. I think the process in and of itself has to literally change. We need to demilitarize our police departments. They should be having education on mental health and addiction to learn how to deal with those problems. And then you can have a sub-department that, if need be, has to come in to do that more militaristic, you know, hold them down, whatever that we have when we see riots happening, right?
Right.
But I think there needs to be a different mindset, because these were generally supposed to be peace officers, like to help the peace and to help de-escalate situations. And I think that's what we need to start consciously thinking of, is how are we treating each person and each citizen that we come across. And when I see a police department, especially like who endorsed Trump, you know, endorse a president that has called for racism, division, and all this stuff and chaos, to be on board with that says, then we have an ideological problem with how we're serving the people and protecting the people. And yes, we can go back to systemic racism and our history and blah, blah, blah. But that to me just was glaring.
Let me ask a question then, because we see evidence of, we talk about training, right?
Yeah.
But we see evidence in other situations where they can bring them back alive, And I'm thinking about very recently the shooting of Walter Wallace Jr. in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm comparing that to like a Dylan Roof or someone else who has literally murdered people. Okay.
Or the guy who walked in recently and shot people in the bank, or was it a bank or a convenience store, something like that?
Yeah.
But all
that kid walking in the street and shot.
Oh yeah, right.
Right, but I say that to say that in most of these cases, you arrive at the scene after the damage has been done, right? And you're able to bring that person to justice. You classify it mental health. You give them the trials or whatever it is. In some cases, food to eat, and they're released. Why the hell were you at a distance and you had to shoot to kill someone?
Because that's the ideological training that is happening, and that's fundamentally the problem.
Yeah,
we're targeting Black and brown people.
Yes, but but it's interesting, so it's not for the lack of not knowing how, you know, it's the fact that you don't feel there's any value there in your subconscious, so you can be at 20 feet away and decide you're gonna riddle him with 25 bullets, not to stop
with a butter knife, holding a butter knife.
Right.
After mama said he has mental health issues.
Right.
And called 911 and called the paramedics to come help.
Right. And instead the police show up to put him out
and
of
that, to me, that is one, it goes back to the ideological effed upness. And then it also goes to the fact that we don't, in this country still, we don't know how to deal with mental health and addiction, period. We don't know how to deal with it.
We know how to deal with white folks.
Right.
We'll find some.
Well, yeah, just like in the county, we have a new thing in the county. We have, first of all, in my district alone, we have 27 treatment facilities. Most of them are methadone clinics. I live in the city. In the county, they have a brand new program that just started because addiction now has become a problem for the white folks out there. That now they can go, and it's like, I forget, it's not naltrexone, which is a blocker, an inhibitor, but it's another type of inhibitor that they can give people different than methadone.
Suboxone.
Yes, thank you. Suboxone.
Now
I'm so ticked off about that.
Yeah.
You know, that those facilities are allowed to have that, but here in the city, we're not dealing with it, and we're not dealing with the product of it. We're not dealing with the dealers. We're not dealing with, you know what I mean, on the street corners. We're allowing them to deal their drugs. We know where it's coming from. We know who they are. Ain't nobody arresting them. You know, but meantime, my city happens to be riddled with heroin and, you know, methamphetamine addiction.
Exactly. And that's, you know, and that's the sadder part about it, you know. But, you know, the police departments, you know, and the 70th, you know, I just want to say shame on y'all again, you know. And Tish James, you got to start really slamming these precincts, because that's the Amadou Diallo, I believe it is.
Abner Louima, I think.
Louima, okay. Louima, thank you. The 70th precinct has a history.
42nd, 43rd.
Yeah. But they have a history. This is not the first incident that they've had where somebody of color has been tortured or somebody of color has been, you know, like, and then you're in neighborhoods, you're in Flatbush, Brooklyn, on a loudspeaker.
Right.
You know, taunting folks. Like, where did you find, like, suspension with no pay? You should have been terminated immediately. And once again, just like the George Floyd case, you have cops standing around letting this happen instead of saying, yo, knock it the fuck off. Like, what are you doing?
Police officers should be like Jehovah's Witness. You don't talk politics.
Exactly.
You don't talk politics. Keep it. That's something that can be yourself. You can do whatever, but that is not for you to do, because you are serving all the people all the time. And not just some of the people.
This is the thing. This administration does not believe its job is to serve anyone.
Right.
They're serving themselves. It's a big masturbation fest in the White House. And they promised to build a wall, and so they did. And there's now a wall around the White House. And so the supporters of that wall will say, oh, but do you know how he's been targeted and threatened? And I'm like, Reagan was shot. He didn't go on the wall. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? They're threatening him. He's hiding in a bunker. He's a little... Okay. I was going to say pussy, but I won't say it because people are listening.
Oh. All of that to say, Rain, we hope you run again.
Yeah, you are hilarious.
Rain,
I may run for a different kind of office. I really want to make impact. And I don't think, to me, being on city council, I don't think might be my bag. It might be running for Senate, Congress type of position where I can actually help with policy.
Yes. Now we're talking.
You know, that's where I think I want to be, because as a performer, it almost seems natural. And as a performer for the things that I've created, which I have on my own, like you saw with TJ, or whether it's my solo show, has been about, whether it's about race relations and having that conversation. So that's where I think I lean more towards, you know,
something good.
Yeah. Well, you have our absolute support. Period. Period. And we're hoping that, you absolutely, take that seriously, and whatever fundraising efforts you need to do, let us know so we can be helpful.
Well, now I know what to do, right?
Yeah, but that's the pleasure. I mean, I don't think that's the pleasure. Everybody, I don't think that many people are successful at their first try at anything.
Right. No, you're not. You get up and you have to, you put it up. You have to try again if it's something you really want, and learn a lot. It's like funny. Speaking of all this, it's like when you hear people say, well, you either have to choose to be an entertainer or a politician. And it's like, no, because I'm a person who cares about life and community. I'm not just someone that, puts on some white gloves and tap dances for you. Like, so you can smile for a minute. Like, I'm a thinking, caring individual. And it brings me to, us, especially, and when I say us, I mean Black and brown people. We are at a place in history where I feel like we have been silent. We have taken the back seat. We have turned the other cheek for so long, in hopes of better days, that we were not going to find a leader who will save us. That is never going to happen. Nope. It is not first of all, it's also not their responsibility. It is for us and us together to change, to elevate, to empower, to invest in, to all the things that we see. And it really ticks me off when I see people like the Ice Cubes and the, you know what I mean?
Little worms.
Yeah, just coming out with, let's say, support for this human being who has done nothing but divide, but will sit and dangle a carrot and say, I know what's best for the people. Like he's some savior. And I'm like, we've had the white savior already. We've had it for 400 effing years. This is the same. This is to me, this is plantation thinking.
Yes, it is.
And we need to get off the plantation. I am done picking your cotton.
Amen.
And we will now celebrate that by me being able to power. And mind you, this is coming from a woman who is Black, who is Jewish, who is Ifa. I stand on both ends, and I'm speaking about this saying we will not find a savior. We must save ourselves.
Amen. Amen.
You got people chiming in saying they will vote for you if you get a Baltimore address.
Well, she's gonna be higher than local, so quite frankly, you'll be able to cast that.
She'll be the president.
Hold the phone.
But how could they say you can't? You have to choose between politics and entertainment. This has been a shit show,
right?
This has been a reality TV show gone mad.
This is Survivor. We are watching live Survivor for 4 fucking years. Like at what point do we get to snuff them out? Like when they put the candle out on the right. Porch. Like at what point do we get to do that and move on? And yes, to everyone, who's thinking, when you have, because my husband's a libertarian, completely different philosophies and thinking, but yet we meet somewhere in the middle because we are for social justice and elevating the people and whatever. So thank God he's not a Trumper, because then, we wouldn't be married. But
yeah, not for long.
Like you can have your beliefs, you can have whatever. Like I'm in support of that. I'm supportive that we live in a country where we're allowed to vote for who the hell we want to vote for. What I am fundamentally asking people is what drives you to vote for someone who has caused so much division. That's all. Like to really think about what about them and who are you voting for? When James that lives in, whatever, in the poor part of town, in his trailer comes out and he's voting for Trump, I want to know why. I want to know what that man has done for you because you're still in your trailer.
Right. Right.
I saw a video of a toothless man living in a shack who they were asking him, but your medical coverage is at risk. What has happened to make you want to go this way? He said, well, I've been a Republican all my life. He said, well, but has anything changed for you in the better every time you vote? But it can get better. Yeah, but has it? But it can.
There's no answer. He's not an answer.
There's this guy who interviews these people at these rallies, and I'm gonna tell you, these people have no sense. I mean, if you want to know what
yes, I've seen those. Woo.
It's like, well, where was Obama on 9/11? That's what I'd like to know.
Oh, geez. Home.
He wasn't in the White House yet.
Exactly. Well, we need to get to the bottom of that.
Right. Yeah, we are in an era. I believe reality TV screwed us all up because reality television isn't reality. It's still scripted in some fashion to get a reaction out of somebody, right? Which is what Trump stood for. So he knew who he was talking to. He knew, oh, this base gets riled up. So he continued on that. It's also who he has been, but it was like he was still under his white hood. Now it's been removed. So he's freely talking to a particular audience, spreading disinformation and lies. And yes, all political sides do it. I recognize that. All of them do it. It's one of the things I said that gave me a bad taste in my mouth running for office. The amount of corruption, the amount of lying that happens is astounding to me. And then you wonder then, because as soon as you, like the greatest thing of a con man, right, is a con man's gift is to lie to you and throw in a little bit of truth, because you hear that truth, you hook onto it, but then you don't realize you're also now sinking and drinking up all the lies because you have one little truth. That's the whole core of a con man. I'm going to get you. It's like the fake psychic. Right. You know, who knows your social cues from the moment you walked in, knows how to swing you in, now tells you what you want to hear, and you're paying her now $100 extra to crack that egg open with the blood in it that she already, which is really high. But you don't know that because you didn't see the little hole on the other end.
Oh my God. Yes. Let me see your palm. I can see you've been distraught lately. Otherwise, we wouldn't be walking your ass in here to ask me what the future is.
Yeah, but there's a large population of our folks who believe in it, and Trump is speaking to himself because this is where he came from. So he knew where to go.
Well, I believe in it too. I'll pay $5. I'll pay $5 because I want to walk out feeling like I have a better future. So I'll go to the lady, and I'll pay her $5 for her to tell me that the future is bright and my love life is going to be great and all of that. And I'm going to get that raise because I'll sit there until she says it. And, but real life can't depend on stories and fortunes. And while the world is crumbling, you have people dying, you have people struggling. I mean, I've had what is considered to be one of the most secure jobs in New York City just by working for the city. You work for the city as long as you can maintain your job and you have passed some kind of test. You're a civil servant.
I've given it to you because
you are there, right? But Rain, check this out. I'm furloughed.
Right. And I'll tell you, and I relate because this is the first time I turned to my husband last night. I said, do you realize this is the first time since I was in my early 20s that I have not had a job, that I have not worked, that I haven't made money for my family? This is the first, yes, he has his own job, but it's not like we're making major bucks and pulling strings and we have a kid who's in private school, even though we took the financial aid, so we pay a little less than we normally would have. But it's like, this is the first time in forever that I have not had a job where we literally sit and go, okay, we have these bills and we have this, and okay, what can we not pay now? What can we ask? Can we pay later? So that X, Y, and Z keeps the roof over our head and food in the fridge and all those things. That is real life stuff. And people don't talk about that. People aren't talking about what this pandemic has done for people. It's not only that we're at risk for getting sick, we're at risk of losing our lives, our homes, our food. And imagine people who've been going through that before the pandemic.
Right. They're completely wiped out.
Yeah.
They're completely wiped out.
That's the stuff I want to hear someone talk about. How are you going to solve that? Right. There are people killing themselves. Suicide is up. Alcoholism, addiction is up. Mental health issues is up. I know, because I have anxiety right now with all this. So I want to know, what is someone going to do? What can we do to help those people? I'm worried. I worry not only for myself, I'm worried for my neighbors that are elderly, that you know what I mean? Come on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And until those questions get answered, I found myself throwing, my downstairs TV probably is broken because of how many things I've thrown at it, even watching the debates. And you got some nerve, both of you actually, right? One on offense and one on defense, but you got some nerve talking to each other and backbiting and doing all that stuff that you do when you need to be talking to the American people. I didn't get too many questions answered for either side, really,
Not really.
One side is ridiculous and one side is less ridiculous, and I want to see the opportunities grow on the other side, because it's just so outrageous on the Republican side now. It's just nothing that makes sense. They're obviously neon with sneaking, backbiting, lying, and destroying, and it's really about business.
All for the sake of holding on to an ideology.
Yeah.
It's not, the United States, it's interesting. The United States of America, the people, most of the founding fathers, although they stole the land and we know all that, but the whole idea of a republic for which it stands, one nation under God. Actually, if you go back and if you know anything about Masons and Masonry, it doesn't matter who you believed in. So we don't really know the belief of those people, but somehow over the years, it's turned into this Christian ideology that has now become a target for war against anything else. And it's become our way or the highway. Either you believe X, Y, and Z. So this idea of, a wife is at home and should not have work and blah, blah, blah. And, LGBTQIA is a sin and blah, 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 and shouldn't be married. And I'm like going, who are these people and where are they living? Like, what teaching teaches you to judge like that and to behave in a way to take away from my family? Because we don't.
And then another question in that is, what does the existence of my family do to your family?
Right.
Existence. Nothing.
Right. My mom's holding hands. What does that have to, why does that bother you so much? Are you lonely?
Why are you so distracted by my presence?
Right.
Wow.
Just the idea that another human being can weigh in on the existence of another, is arrogant beyond belief. That is the severity of the mental health issue right there.
Right.
The idea that my presence affects you.
Right.
Is just bananas.
It is bananas. It's all bananas. I'm wondering, Rain, what do you think your father would think about what is going? What would he say? Like, I know you can't
just be one long, and then like, you know what I mean? like that's in my head.
He's
Right. He is just cursing he is cursing right now because this is not what he stood for. Can you imagine him right now? Everything he said would be scrutinized. Everything. You wouldn't know who Richard Pryor was. If he was here right now, you would not know who he was. They would have shut him up and down.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Do you know what I mean? Revolutionaries, the Dick Gregorys would not have been around. Do you know what I mean? They are shutting those voices down. It's no longer politically correct. You know, and I'm like, are you kidding me? This is what we've become. You know, but we can say, you know, we can call people out their names now with no repercussion. Whole communities keep 557 kids in a cage with no parents because we just don't know where they are. Are you kidding me? This is what we've become.
And then he says, "Oh, they're being so well cared for. The place is so clean." Who gives a you could sit them up on a little golden throne and give them little golden chunks of food to eat, but they don't have their mommy.
Right.
There's nothing more important than that. When it comes to a child, that love.
And now sending them across. Now they're sending them into Mexico, some of these kids, without their families, dropping them off who aren't even from Mexico. You know what I mean? That's another new thing that's happened in the last 24 hours. And these are the things of why, like, when you think of running for higher office and impact, that's what I'm talking about. How do we change policies that help everybody? How do we really live in religious freedom? That's what it was supposed to be. We're supposed to have religious freedom. How did we become this very myopic, very, you know, monotheistic kind of thinking? Like, really? No, we're supposed to be able to embrace our neighbor. I don't have to eat goat. Do you know what I mean? Even though in E5, some people do for certain ritual, you know, but like, I don't have to eat goat, but it's okay if you do.
Right.
You know, I go to church, light my candles. It's okay if you don't.
Right.
I take Friday and Saturday off. It's okay if you don't. Just like it's okay for, you know, like I said, the Jehovah's Witnesses don't vote. They're not going to be political. Okay, that's okay. We have, as a human being, we have that right. It is not for me to tell you how to live your life in your home with your family, other than to say, please don't abuse your kids or your animals and don't pull a gun and shoot me for no reason.
Right.
It's true. You're right.
No.
Right. Misty J says they're doing to the Mexicans what they did to Black mothers in the 70s and 80s.
Yes.
Interesting point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting point. Yeah.
I saw this and I'm wondering, is there a podcast in your future?
You know what? No. You asked me that too. No. It's for doing voiceover work.
Oh, okay.
Because look, I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, well, if I'm not in the studio able to really audition for stuff, because I don't live in California, you know, although I don't mind going there for a month or so to audition, I might as well look into other areas that I can do what I do to try to make a living. And so I actually really bought professional sound equipment and interface so that I could do voiceover and recording stuff. And maybe one day I'll do a podcast, but there's so many, I don't know what I would talk about.
Oh my goodness.
Are you kidding me? You have so.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what it would be. You know what I mean? I don't know what it would be. That's how I think I think that way now, because everybody's, you know,
everybody.
You've been on for, like, you have your base.
Yeah.
You know, I could start from scratch, I guess, but you had yeah.
Well, 36% sounds like a little base there.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. I don't have thousands. Well, okay. But that's a lot of people.
First time out, that's a lot of people. And I think that when you can set it up to continue to talk to them and continue to get them mobilized for your next adventure. Because
I'm listening to you, and I'm literally now going to look into it. Thanks.
Yes. And anything that you put your mind to, Rain, you're going to.
Anyone can. That's the thing. Anyone really can. And that's why I mean about helping each other out.
Yeah.
So we as people need to come together as people.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not looking as everything's in competition with everybody else. We're not.
Yeah, that's
struggles are completely different. We don't know why. I don't know why some of my friends who grew up like I grew up, I don't know why they are so successful and I struggle at it. I don't always know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what I do know is their path is different than mine.
Mm-hmm.
I have my path. I'm not in competition with that person.
Mm-hmm.
All I look at is I might want on the outside what I see that they have. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what you mean. And you know, I struggle with that. You know, I see people who will start something similar to this and bang, it's like, woo. And I'm like,
how did that happen?
Wow. Great for them though.
Right.
Congratulations. Great. Keep making it do what it do.
I think we're just like at a everybody's just I think I want to agree. Everybody's at their own path, you know, and everybody if I kind of believe that we're all chess pieces in this game called life, and the master, you know, and granted, we do have to have our own acts with it as well, but the faith of it is that, you know, there is something bigger than us at play here, and we're responsible just to move our feet and be obedient in what it is that we want to do, you know, and the rest is going to be revealed, because just as soon as if you notice, just as soon as you see somebody do this huge sprint, if it's not done right, it comes right back down. And you know, you don't know what the next person did behind the scenes or what they're doing or who's even pushing whatever the agenda is.
Absolutely.
You could just be clear on what your own is, you know, and make sure you're walking in obedience to what that is, you know, and keep refining that particular craft. That's why I said 36% is nothing to sneeze at. And
crazy.
You know, the continuity, you just have to keep your message out there to the people, because clearly people heard you, you know, like nobody comes out the gate. I've seen 2, I've seen 4%, I've seen 5, I've not seen 36%. That's
out the gate.
Out the gate. It's pretty big.
Thank you.
So I'm wondering, let's just take a look at this guy. This is my favorite guy. And then I just want to get your last opinion on where we're going with this election, and then we need a new drop from you, because now we can see you, so we need a visual drop. Okay, so but what I want to do is I want to play the I guess the 2020 election draft board, Steve Kornacki. I watched this guy and just to see what he's thinking.
Deja vu to 2016. Can we trust these polls? Steve Kornacki with an answer. Now, Steve, what about it?
Yeah, Chef, it's a good question, and it's worth considering. What if the polls are as wrong in 2020 as they were in 2016? So what you got here, these are the current poll averages in the battleground states. And what we did is we looked at each one of these battleground states and said, how much were the final polls off in 2016? And said, let's apply the same miss. And what would that do to 2020? And you see the picture does change. You start to see a little bit more red here. Trump picks up Wisconsin, North Carolina, Ohio, Iowa. This would not be enough of a switch, not enough of a poll miss to put Trump over 270. But you can see he'd be knocking on the door. It would change the race significantly.
Of course, they can be wrong one way or the other.
Very good point. And in 2012, in fact, the election before 16, they were wrong the other way. They underestimated Barack Obama's support that year. So we also said, what if these polls are missing like they missed in 2012 on Barack Obama's support? What would that look like on Election Day? And there suddenly you see Biden starts to run away with a bunch of states. Trump only ends up with Arizona. Biden wins the lion's share, and he wins them pretty easily, too.
Yeah, Texas, you know, really has me head scratching. We've already had more Texans vote this year already than voted in all of 2016. Do we have any idea who they are and what's motivating them? I mean, are they going left or right?
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing. We could put those stats up again. You could see past the 2016 level. Demographically, our friends at Target Smart have come up with some data. They say there are, relative to 2016, a little bit more college-educated white voters in the electorate, a little bit lower right now in the non-college whites, the Trump base, college whites, the Democratic base. But the big question is, does that just mean that on Election Day, that Trump demographic is going to turn out more and level things off, or have the Democrats built a more permanent advantage here? The Election Day is what will tell us that.
Yeah. Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, Shepard Smith. We don't want to see you. We just wanted to see the big board. So what does that mean? Really nothing, because
my thing is this: polls don't mean shit. Go out and vote. Don't listen to the robocalls. Don't listen to what, the commercials. Don't listen to the polls. Go out and vote. No matter what, vote. That's it. We need you to vote. We need North Carolina, North Carolina, Michigan, Florida, Arizona. What's the other one?
Texas.
Right. Vote.
Pennsylvania.
To vote. The swing states need to vote. That's what matters. Maryland, Democratic, it doesn't matter, but you need to vote. But you know what I'm saying? It's like we need the places that in the electorate that are going to change the results of this election. You need to go out and vote. Vote like your life depends on it, because I believe it does. And that's why I have anxiety. I believe my life is dependent on, and my daughters and my core family is dependent on who is going to be president for the next 4 years. This is true.
Let's play some rapid fire with Rain.
Yeah.
Now that we have her visually, we can see all the body language and everything going on here. You played this with us before, haven't you?
I don't know.
Okay, rapid fire is our word association game. And how it works is we'll say a word, then you'll say what immediately comes to mind.
Okay.
I'll say 5 words, and then JaVonne will say 5 words. And it's just designed to give people a peek behind the veil of Rain Pryor.
Okay.
So you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Community.
Come together.
Children.
Parents. Teen. Sorry. I'm not good at word games. I'm trying.
Government.
Falling apart.
Love.
The way it should be.
Black people.
Powerful.
All right. Thank you. JaVonne, you're up next.
Jewish.
Heritage.
Bubby.
Grandma Bunny.
Richard Pryor.
Commentator on the world.
Banana.
Good for potassium.
Comedy.
We need it more now than ever.
Ooh.
And my last word, here's a bonus word: love.
I got it for y'all.
Aww.
You gotta love each other.
Got it for you.
I mean, but seriously, love is what's gonna make this world go round. We have to act from I will tell you, if anything, my heart situation taught me was to start acting from here. I believe that part of my condition is because I need to act from that place. I need to serve my family, my friends, from a heart-centered place, not an ego place.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's powerful. Very, very powerful. Yeah. You know,
I'm sorry.
This is the
I'm
age
glad to
of
be with you guys today. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. You know I love your pieces, Rain. You know
I love you too.
You know that. I know I annoy you sometimes, but it's because I love you.
You really don't.
But I love you. I love you, Rain.
Love you.
I love that.
Rain, let us get a drop. Hi, this is Rain Pryor, and you're in the basement with JaVonne and Terez.
Hi, this is Rain Pryor, and you're in the basement with JaVonne and Terez.
All right. We also have a 24-hour radio station now. We play a lot of your dad's stuff. Like you be listening to some Mahalia Jackson, and then you hear Richard Pryor talking about Dracula in the alley. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a random thing. So if we could get a drop for the radio station too, that would be dope.
The same thing?
No. Hi. Hi, this is Rain Pryor, and you're listening to WJBR Internet.
Now you gotta have me writing stuff down. See how you are? I gotta write this down. Go ahead.
WJBR.
Yes.
Internet radio.
Okay. I can do that.
You're listening to.
All right. You're listening to WJBR Internet Radio with JaVonne Terez and Rain Pryor.
That's gonna say. That's gonna say. And you know something, Ray? What JaVonne isn't telling you, which is the funniest part. And I want you to hang around and watch the outro of the show, because that'll give you some idea of what she does with the video images. She's a master at what she does in her editing. So
we're gonna have to end the show now then, because I know Rain has to go. So I'll play the outro so that you can watch it before you go. But our producer, our co-producer Ulysses, has been trying to get us to give you this message that he loves you, and his personal story is that you guys met when you were little kids. His uncle is Flip Wilson.
Oh shit.
And his oldest brother is Rayshawn.
Yes.
He
taught me all of my spiritual stuff. Yes.
Exactly. So Ulysses wanted to give you a shout out and some love. And so let me just bring up so that you can see it.
Yeah, so watch this, Rain.
Yes. And
peace, everybody.
Junior's
Go vote. Go vote. 3 days.
Vote.
Hi, everybody. You're in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. This is Melba Moore.
All I gotta say is I thank you.
Still in the basement, no longer alone, with my homegirl Terez on the microphone. Music politics are just chatting it up. Brunch in the basement, see that's what's up. You never know who might run through. Legendary artist or someone brand new. You miss a lot when you miss one day. At least that's what I heard somebody say. But it doesn't really matter what whoever says. It's always a good show with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Brunch in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Let's see who we got today. Come on, everybody's a friend in my head. I already know everybody. Whatever it is. One day I'll tell you about me and Shaka Khan, but you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But she doesn't know anything about it. But anyway. No, she doesn't. She wasn't even there actually. But anyway.
All our bosses though, Jay. Like she got our ears and
I'm gonna send y'all some tomorrow. I'll definitely get an address. I'll send y'all out tomorrow.
You can send me some cologne, because I mean, you know. Yeah. Just in case I should meet Shaka Khan, I want to smell really, nice.
Oh God.
Okie dokie, babe. Whatever you say.
The time, so
And we thank you for that.
thank you. Thank you. That little piece I'm just gonna keep and play it all the time for myself. But no, I'm just teasing.
All I gotta say is I thank you. Thank you. All I gotta say is I thank you. All I gotta say is I thank you. Thank you. All I gotta say
growing up Richard Pryor's daughter, I don't think it's what people expect it to be. My dad was very normal, believe it or not, because he was hands-on. And then, yes, there were the drugs. Like, we all know that story, but they don't know that he would make us clean our own rooms. He would make us feed ourselves. We had to learn how to cook. We had to learn how to clean. We had to learn how to have jobs. We weren't allowed to be disrespectful to anybody or anything. He was very strict as a dad. Remember once having one of my first dates with this guy, Larry Cox, who's still my best friend to this day, thank goodness. But my dad showed up at the top of the stairs with a shotgun and asked Larry what his intention was. And of course, Larry was man enough at the time of, being 15 years old to say, well, Mr. Pryor, my intention is to take her to a movie and dinner. Is that okay? My dad was like, I think I like you. He could be so special, and to us, he was our dad. It's like we don't see him as everyone else the world sees him. I would describe my dad's legacy as, it's not just stuff, it's not just the movies, it's not just the comedy. Right before, he passed away, it was really important for him to know that his children knew that he loved them and how important they were to him. And I think he realized that's what I left behind, is that. And the rest will live on, but that's really the truth of who I am.